Welcome, welcome everybody to another Community Fit, and in particular, a CommunityFIT class. All about nervous system regulation. I'm your host, James, and I can tell you for sure, this week, I need this class. For those of you who've been with us for a while, you know that I've been an entrepreneur, worked by myself for years and years and years. And about a year and a half ago, went to work for an organization. Well, I had to do 3 days at a headquarters this week doing onboarding for a new teammate, which was lovely. And also, I forgot how much just being around people and doing and fluorescent lights and all of that is exhausting for my nervous system. So, just a little moment of transparency that I need today as much as you do. So, thank you for joining us. We are going to start off today. We've got about 30 minutes. We're going to start off today with some of our somatic practices, our self-regulation, body-based practices, which is the foundation for the work we've done. The same thing this month is going to be true as last month. I will not be teaching those exercises. I will be opening up my practice for you to watch and follow along as you'd like. If you have been with us for X amount of time, again, these sessions started in January. So from January through March, we did like a lot of deep diving into nervous system toolkit, meaning 5 buckets of practices, different variations of them, focusing practice, meaning being able to embody and feel and notice and be mindful of your body through nervous system regulation and the tools and techniques to help support self-regulation in your own body. That's what we'll be starting off with today. If you're like, I have no idea what James just said, no worries. I'm going to guide you through what I'm going through and you can follow me along. And if you have other practices that you prefer, that you've learned, that you like, feel free to do that. Now, to set context, going from today's session through May, in April, we started mental health practices. In April, we really covered stress and our stress reflex and practices to address the stress response within the body. This month is officially Mental Health Awareness Month. So we're going to be covering a lot of mental health practices that you can easily slide into your life and or consider that will be really beneficial for you and for you to share and so on and so forth. Now, when we're talking mental health practices, what we are not going to be covering here is stuff like talk therapy, is anything that's going to fall underneath the bracket of mental health medicine, right? So we're not going to be doing anything that would fall underneath the realm of psychology or psychiatry. I advocate, if you're like, I really need some support with mental health, to reach out and get the medical support you need there. What we will be covering is practices that are open and available to literally anyone, lifestyle choices, mental health choices, things that you can do to fortify your mental health, so on and so forth. So to give you a little bit of framework, today we're going to start off after our self-regulation practices with self-hypnosis. Now, when we get there, we're going to kind of talk about what is hypnosis, because hypnosis is not what you see in movies. It's not what you see on television. In fact, it is a very specific and stylized version of meditation. And so it is a meditation that works very specifically with your brain and the physiology of the brain. And there is so much research on the fact that self-hypnosis hypnosis in general and self-hypnosis in particular is one of the best things you can do for your mental health. We're also going to be covering this month things like co-regulation and being around people and sort of what parameters are there. We're also going to cover things like solitude and rest, lots and lots of stuff. You're going to find that this month's classes are actually going to be, especially as we go, today's will be practice heavy, but as we go forward for the majority of this month, it's actually going to be a lot of talk heavy material. So that's why we always put the practices up front so that if you're like, I just come for the calm, right? Cool. We're going to do about 10, 15 minutes of that. And then we're going to reserve the tail end for the majority of the classes this month to be particularly talk heavy because I want to help you create guidelines, metrics, and lifestyle choices that can support your mental health, whether you are someone who is looking for the assistance of medical mental health support or not. Because here's the fact, you need mental health support. I need it. We all need it because mental well being is the key to overall holistic well being. So, everything we're going to talk about is applicable to you. It's applicable to your sisters, your brothers, your cousins, your spouses, everyone in your life. So, feel free to invite them and or share. So, enough talk for now. As I said, we're going to start off with some of the self-regulation practices because I need them. And that's really what most people are coming for. And then we're going to wrap up today with some self-hypnosis. So go ahead and get comfortable. I'm going to see some stuff in here. Cool. Go ahead and get comfortable. You can lie down, you can sit down, whatever it is, and take a little inventory of what you notice. This is going back to those focusing practices for self-regulation. For those of you who are just joining us, maybe for the first time, these focusing practices are the key to everything. These focusing practices are the key to mindfulness, stress reduction, mental health, nervous system regulation. Focusing can be as simple as what am I feeling in my body, my physical body? What am I noticing in my cognitive body? What am I noticing in my emotional body? Like, what's the state of you right now? It could also be, again, not teaching these, just mentioning them for the people who have joined us. It could be red and blue spots. It could be noticing above and below line indicators. It could be any number of things. We will have all of these videos posted. We actually have a ton of these styles of videos already posted on our YouTube. So lots and lots of resources there. I'm going to guide you through what my focusing practice for today. Here's what I notice. I notice that I'm not sitting in the chair. I'm sort of like weirdly placed in the chair. So I'm just going to allow the chair to support me, sit back. So that was a noticing and a practice all in one. I notice I have a headache today. It's very rare for me. So anytime I do have even a little bit of a headache, it's really disruptive for me. So I'm going to kind of notice that. And for me, it's coming from like a little bit of sinus congestion, allergy season, and some neck stuff going on. I notice I'm not breathing really well. I feel kind of tight. Um, those would be the big noticings right now. Then for you, just notice what's going on for you. And again, it's not good. It's not bad. It's just what is, right? I'm just welcoming the experience of what is without qualifying it as like, this is a good thing to be or a bad thing. It's just noticing. Then I'm going to go through the toolkit. And the first thing I'm going to turn to today is actually not breath. The first thing I'm going to turn to today is some therapeutic touch. So for me, my first practice is going to be bring this all together, warm it up, and then I'm feeling the urge to just put it on the front of the throat. And just take a few breaths. Feeling inclined to close my eyes, like it just, and how do I know that? My body just said, it'd feel really nice to close your eyes right now. So I do. What I'm hearing, like the internal voice is like, okay, this is fine, but there's probably something better to do. So I'm going to take my right hand, place it on the left throat, and just drag it to middle. Left hand onto right throat, drag it to middle. And again, I'm just allowing you in on my practice. This is something for you to try. If you're like, I don't have a practice, cool, follow me along. But this is not free. This is not me teaching and telling you to do this. If you've been with us for a while and you're like, nope, I want something else, do that something else. And then a little raindrop action all over the face. And then going to the top of the head, I'm just gonna do like tapping, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm tapping at like a 1 or a 2. So it's not heavy, it's not hard. I'm just kind of stimulating up here. And then I'm going to take the palm of like the heel of my palm, and I'm just going to gently push it into my eyes. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm pushing at like a 3, maybe a 4. I'm just going to kind of rest into that. As I do this, and I'm just going to kind of break from my practice a little bit. As I was there, I was like, oh, I need a breathing practice to accompany this. So the breathing practice I'm going to do is physiological sigh. If you're brand new, that's an inhale, second inhale, prolonged exhale. And I'm going to do a handful of those, 3 to 5 of those. When I release, I'm just going to start to go into my orientation practice. And that's just looking around the space and noticing what's in the room. You might even think of this as a sensory practice. I can look around and intake or see things in the room. I could also close my eyes and hear things in the room. Just intaking the space. Just noticing what's in there. Like there's a closet. The closet is open. There's some clothing and some shoes, and a plant and a window and a tree beyond, street beyond the tree. And there's a wall, some art and a plant and a ceiling. Now I feel like my body goes, okay, cool, that's enough of that. So then I'm just going to start to move. Movement can be a gentle swaying side to side. This is our bilateral sway. Your nervous system loves this. Could be fast, could be slow, could be big, it could be small. You have to find the rhythm that works for you. As I'm doing this, what I'm noticing in my own nervous system, right? I feel the headache or the feeling there is different now. And it's a different that I enjoy. I'm able to notice, oh, there's some jaw tension and neck tension, which I hadn't noticed before. And then there's an interesting thing going on in like the emotional body as I do this. There's part of me that's like, oh, it feels really nice to be rocked. You really like this right now. And then there's another part of me that's like, that's too gentle. You don't want that. You want something bigger. So I'm gonna go, okay, cool. Let's try the bigger thing. I'm gonna do a little shaking and then retest. Nope, side to side's not it. So I'm going to just do a little flexion and extension. And again, I'm able to follow that scent in my own body because I have a practice and because I do things like this a lot. So if you're like, I don't have that, James, practice. This class is not about getting it right, right? There's nothing to get right. It's a library of options and choices for you to try on. and a user guide to go, this is how you might use this operating system. You've got to take the harness, right? You got to own the thing in order to gain a skill around this stuff. And that skill can be a mastery level where you're like, I can follow. Oh, yep, I feel that, I feel that, and I feel both things at the same time. Or that skill could be like just enough so that you can do the things to get you through life, right? It's a personal choice. Become a master at focusing and understanding the body and knowing how to use these, or knowing that I just don't feel good and that breath makes me feel better. And that's a valid choice as well. And then I can go back to the side to side. My body, what I'm feeling in my and like my physical body, it's not even a thought, is rotations. So I'm going to rotate. I'm going to just take a couple of breaths over here. And then this way. Back to center, and ending with our last tool out of the toolkit. So again, we have done therapeutic touch. We've done an orientation or a sensory practice. We've done a movement thing. We're going to go into vocalization now. So I'm going to do an inhale and let out a sigh. My body says more, bigger. So I'm going to go into the VU breath. VU. Vocalizations is just making a sound. VU. And then do a noticing. Do you need more self-regulation practices right now? Do you need more of this nervous system toolkit stuff to bring you back to um, normal or operational? Or do you feel supported enough that you're like, I feel normal and operational? Or do you feel supported enough to go, it's okay that I don't feel amazing right now, right? I know I can get through it. I'm fine. I have enough resource in me now after doing those practices to get through the rest of the day. All of those are perfectly valid. All of those are literally the point of self-regulation. Did I bring myself back to normal, whatever that is for you? Did I change anything, right? Did I create capacity to get through it? Or do I need more of something? All of those are the right answer, right? From there, let's move into self hypnosis. And if you're like, I just need more of this, cool. Just continue to do more of this as I guide us through self hypnosis. So, hypnosis in general, as I said at the beginning, it's a meditation style. It falls underneath the category of cognitive behavioral therapy. So it is a therapeutic process that you go through, and it's a therapeutic process that is open to all of us because it's not necessarily licensed and medical based. It is, again, a meditation style. And it's something I can help guide you through. And surprisingly, or unsurprisingly, you can help guide yourself through. What hypnosis does is it relaxes and regulate. What relaxation really is a nervous system depression. And we kind of talked about that with the stress reflex. I have an anxious or activated nervous system, and I have a depressed or down regulated nervous system. Both are healthy and normal. That wave is good. So, what this version of meditation called self hypnosis does is it down regulates the nervous system in a way that feels safe. So, what do we call that? relaxation. So it's relaxed, and then it deactivates your default mode network. That's a very particular place in the brain that says this is how we operate right now. The default mode network is my reaction complex. This is where we've experienced it before, and this is what we should do. And it deactivates that. So it allows for new options, new capability. So when those two things are coupled together, that relaxation activates the back of the brain, the brainstem area, and goes, you're safe and you're downregulated. Relax. And it opens up potential by deactivating that default mode network to go, you're relaxed and you're safe and you are open to new possibilities, right? So when those things are coupled together, that is a very healthy way to sort of work with your mental health. It relaxes and opens up because that relaxation is something that not a lot of our nervous systems experience enough of. And what is an optimal state for mental health or mental beingness is choice and freedom and openness and possibility, because that's what lays the work for curiosity. That's what opens us up to things like play. And what play is I'm interested in this thing, I lose track of time with this thing. It's a general good feeling for the body. So here's how we can do that. Go ahead and get comfortable. Again, you can lie down, you can sit, you can just relax and whatever that looks like for you. And I'm going to guide you through a very, very, very simple self-hypnosis strategy. As we go through this self-hypnosis has been on plenty of our previous videos. Again, this video will live online very, very soon, and I guarantee you're going to remember exactly how to do this, right? So get comfortable, get relaxed. Start off with whatever nervous system regulation practice worked for you, whether that's an orientation, physiological sigh, therapeutic touch, whatever feels nurturing. And then maybe say to yourself, I'm safe and secure. Now, very particular, and this is something that is true of most hypnosis techniques. Don't raise your eyebrows and like struggle to look up at the ceiling. In fact, rest your eyebrows and just let your eyes kind of gaze upwards at your eyebrows, almost as if your eyebrows are coming down to meet your gaze and your gaze is going up to look at your eyebrows. Take a few more breaths. And then gently, it's almost like you're not resisting to close your eyes, but not trying to close your eyes, right? There's like an in between where you're slowly shutting the shutters. You might notice that your eyelids want to flutter a little bit. We're working with brain physiology because your eyes are just the external portion of your brain. They are a portion of your brain outside of the skull. So doing something like this technique is actually working with brain. And then slowly allow your eyes to close. Taking a deep breath, inhale and an exhale. Allowing your body to sit back in the chair a little more deeply. Allowing your body to lie down a little more heavily. And continue maybe to say to yourself, I feel safe and secure and supported. Listening to the sound of your own breath, taking in an inhale, letting out an exhale. Allowing yourself to get a little heavier in the chair, on the floor, in the bed, wherever you find yourself now. Another inhale Another exaggerated exhale. Feeling somehow heavier and lighter than you have felt in a long time. Imagine in front of you a set of 10 steps. A set of 10 steps that lead down to your favorite place that you feel even more secure. You feel joy, you feel freedom. And as this visual gets even more clear, you feel yourself getting heavier and heavier. And as you get heavier, this vision becomes clearer and clearer. It's like you're being pulled towards that stairway. And as you are pulled towards that stairway, you feel your foot land on step number 10. Taking in the inhale, letting out the exhale, you hear your foot hit step number 9. You feel yourself sink into step number 8, sinking deeper into 7, letting go into step number 6, hearing that foot land on 5, sinking deeper into 4, choosing number 3, letting go number 2, 1, and you're there, feeling supported, secure, free, full of joy, knowing that this place is a choice you're choosing. You are exactly where you want to be. And as you look around, you notice what's above you, below you, not with your eyes, but with almost a sense in the body. You hear it, you see it, you feel it. You notice the sensation in the body, how good it feels. You notice, is it daytime? Is it nighttime? Who's here to support me? Who's here with me? Taking in an inhale, letting out an exhale, sinking deeper and deeper. Almost as if exploring this space for the first time, and yet somehow feeling right at home. Knowing that you can come back here and enjoy this and feeling supported in this space whenever you want. It is available to you anywhere, anytime. This feeling of support, freedom, joy available to you anywhere, anytime. Now, you look to your left and you notice a set of 5 steps taking you up and out. Knowing you can come back here whenever you like, you allow your foot to hit step number 1, number 2, 3, 4, and 5. Eyes open up and just simply begin to intake your space. Noticing where you're at now, looking above you, below you, just orienting to the space. Taking note of anything you feel, and if needed, writing down any notes you need to recall the experience. So, again, that was a very basic self hypnosis meditation. Some of the keys to get there is the I flutter, that quite literally activates the brain in a very specific way to allow all of this to happen. It is the feeling supported. It is the downward sensation, which just allows you to sink into the experience a little bit more. Where you land is up to you to kind of play with and choose and explore. And when you're ready to come out of it, just kind of reversing the process, taking the numbers upwards, opening your eyes and checking in with where you're at now. And that experience can be abbreviated. For us, it was about 6 minutes, or it could be long, a 30-minute meditation. It's for you to decide and for you to use, but it's a way for your brain to be activated in a very specific way that is really healthy for it. And I just wanted to share that with you. And I hope you appreciate it. If you have any questions, I'll stick around. If not, we'll see you next week for more midweek desk stretch and another session of CommunityFIT on Friday. Thank you, everybody. Okay, we have a few questions here. The big one is, can I do VU until I run out of breath? Yep, you can do VU as long or as short as you like. Oftentimes I'll sort of abbreviate it because I'm teaching, but if I'm doing it on my own, it's quite long. This was emotional for me. That can be true. Over in Q&A. Default activating system, is that the same as the reticular? Default activating, it's actually default mode network, and it is similar to the reticular activating system, but different. Default mode network, they live in pretty much the same area of the body, but they do two very, very different things. Okay, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.